Ladies and gentlemen, the best week of the year has come. For those who don't know what Monterey Car Week is, it's like the Super Bowl for car people, and we're on a mission to find every $1 million+ super and hypercar we possibly can, and we're taking you along with us. Your Huracans, your 488s, they're not making the cut. We're talking Bugattis, Paganis, Hennessy Venom F5s, which will lead us into our first car of this trip. A beautifully spec'd Hennessy Venom F5. Folks, this is just the first car. We still have Quail, Pebble Beach, Carmel by the Sea. We're gonna find some good stuff. We're off to a bad start here. We literally just saw a LaFerrari right past that stoplight and we didn't get it. We're stuck in traffic. All right, boys and girls, we're pulling up. I told you we would find it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Focus, focus, please focus. That was horrible. I'm not allowed to book Airbnbs. I'm not allowed to use the camera. There's not much I can do here. We've made it to the RM Sotheby's booth, and there's a plethora of $1 million+ hypercars here. We're gonna take you for a little tour here. First up, the one and only LaFerrari, Christen car spec, with the Aperta striping on it. Very, very cool. Yellow calipers, of course. Moving back, if a leprechaun was a billionaire, this is the car he would get. The one of one, fully exposed carbon fiber McLaren P1 with green paint, green wheels, green interior pieces, and it's chassis number 2, but the first customer car ever delivered for the McLaren P1. And last but not least, in this section, folks, we have a fully exposed carbon Koenigsegg Regera with carbon fiber wheels. And that gold flake you see in the paint is real gold. Like real gold. Like actual, like gold you'd wear on a watch, a bracelet, a necklace. It's in the paint of your car. Folks, all of this gold right here is probably, I'm 86% sure, is real. We made it to the second floor, and one of the coolest cars at this entire auction is the one of 3 Ferrari TR Spider. I didn't even know they made Spiders, but they made 3 of them. It is a Sultan of Brunei car, and of course, it's right-hand drive. Moving back, we have a very interesting Ferrari F40 in Verde Pulido, which this car didn't come from the factory in, but it is a factory Ferrari paint color to match a 250 GTO. Verde Pulido with blue seats is quite a specification, folks. Maybe not one that I would go for, but it works. I already forgot the name of this color. Last but not least in this section, we have an Oro Adonis Lamborghini Murcielago LP640 Roadster with a 6-speed gated manual transmission. And the spec, of course, is a one of one with these sand-colored seats. Onward, folks. We have a 2019 Porsche 935, a car that I've never seen before, but has some of the most aggressive aerodynamics I've ever seen on a Porsche. I'm gonna walk you to the back because the back end of this car is as long as a stretch limo. This spoiler is amongst some of the most massive spoilers we've ever seen in the game. And look at these steel, titanium, whatever it's made out of, dual exhaust tips. This is a serious race car, folks. Easily one of my favorite hypercars at this entire auction is this Bugatti Chiron Supersport, silver paint with brown interior, which is an absolute class move. But the most important part is around back here with the quad turbocharged W16 engine. And you'll notice that the back end of this car is much longer than a traditional Chiron because it is a top speed car. For lack of time, we can't go over every single $1 million car in this room, but pretty much every single car in this room is well over $1 million. We've now made it outside, and right behind me is a Bugatti EB110 sandwiched between 2 Vectors. There's not much I could say about a Vector because I don't know a ton about them, but they're the most funky looking cars. And I think funky is the best way that I could explain the way this car looks. The cars are both wedge-shaped and round at the same time, and they have the most ridiculous windshields and mirrors on them that I've ever seen. My God, folks! Bugatti EB110, he just said Range Rover! He just said Range Rover! What a spectacle! Pagani Huayra fully exposed carbon fiber! 2 Bugatti Chirons! What's going on here, folks? I think we just covered like $8 to $10 million, if not more. Folks, you can see those bunny ears from a nautical mile away. If you'll look straight ahead, we have found yet another Bugatti EB110, and I believe that is our 3rd of this trip. We call that a hat trick. Folks, we were driving over to the Quail when something caught my right peripheral, so we had to pull into the Starbucks parking lot because it's none other than the matte green with carbon fiber wheels 812 Competizione. And the honorable mention of this Starbucks trip, that's not quite $1 million, but about $500,000, the classic 4 GT. Folks, we didn't get media passes for the Quail, so we're kind of just like weaseling our way in and out of the events. We're not going into the show, onto the golf course, but there's still some cool stuff out and about here, such as this yellow Ferrari F50, and to my right, a Christen car spec SSC Tuatara Striker that might look familiar. We did review one of the first ones, which was in silver. And then if we walk down this parking lot a little bit further, we'll find something else in the $1 million+ category, which happens to be the new Lamborghini Countach. That's a Ferrari F40, so that will also be in the $1 million+ category. It looks very like LM spec, and I don't know if it's It's probably not from the factory. It's probably not from the factory, but it's very cool. And I would reckon that it's $1 million+ car. Is actually?
Google it.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Nice. Thank you. It's called the Ferrari Koenigsegg. Speaking of Koenigsegg, we have a CCX, and that is absolutely over $1 million. Wow. Folks, this is the second T50 that we've seen from GMA with, I think, a 12,000 RPM redline. It sounds like a motorcycle. It's absolutely an insane hypercar. And it's a 3-seater. The driver sits in the middle of the car. Folks, probably the only sub $1 million car in this video, but we had to talk about it because it just came out. The 10,000 RPM redlining Lamborghini Temerario. It is the successor to the Huracan. Sources are saying it has over 900 horsepower with a 0 to 60 time of 2.7 seconds. Hopefully we'll be able to get in front of it for a full review, but for now, it's getting loaded up onto the truck and it's heading home. Our first trip to Monterey, we had a Volkswagen Golf, which was fine because it was small and practical. And then somewhere in between, we upgraded to a Dodge Charger SXT, which was phenomenal. And then we upgraded substantially to a 488 Spider. And then Enterprise ran out of rental cars in the mid-size category. So they gave us a Chevy Silverado. And I would not recommend it if you're gonna go car spotting throughout Monterey. If you're wondering why a Chevy Silverado is not a great car for Monterey Car Week, that's why. It's too big, and it gets like 15 miles to the gallon. I think the Ferrari 488 got better gas mileage than the Chevy Silverado. Oh, folks might be one of the best ones here. We've never seen before on the Chris and Cars channel, possibly never seen before by any of the eyeballs that are watching Chris and Cars. It's not this hydro aluminum box truck. It's not, it's very cool, but it's not that. It's not the C63. It's not the E63. It's not the G63. Okay, it's not even the Aston Martin Velour that's in the corner there. That's also a $1 million+ car.
It's not.
No, it's not, Jack. It's not. Onward, folks. May I present to you the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Folks, we stopped for a little Starbucks beverage here in this random shopping center here in Monterey. Well, obviously in Monterey. That's the whole purpose of this video. To my left, a casual strip mall parked Koenigsegg Jesko. I've never seen a Koenigsegg Jesko, I think, in my entire life. And there's just one here in the Starbucks parking lot. Folks, I guess millionaires and billionaires are obsessed with Starbucks because I'm right here in front of a CGT with the license plate CGT. And what caught the corner of our eye back here, we have to take a little bit of a walk. We're gonna take a little bit of a hustle. I don't feel like running. I'm sipping my coffee. I'm enjoying the beautiful Monterey day. And we're not talking about this 992 GT3 RS right here. We're talking about the Porsche 918 Spider. First one of the video here, folks. There's plenty roaming around the streets of Monterey, but this is the first one we've seen. It's in like a Nardo gray type of color. Great spec. Great spec. Alrighty, so far we found a Koenigsegg Jesko, a Carrera GT, a Porsche 918 Spider, a bunch of other like sub $1 million cars, and right in front of me, a Lexus LFA in a Chris and Cars specification. And that's gonna wrap up Starbucks, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we've traveled over to the Laguna Seca racetrack, and we have found yet another Daytona SP3. It's one of my favorite cars. I think it's the best thing that Ferrari's done since the LaFerrari, but you can see it has blue seats, blue and white pinstriping down the middle. What a spec, what a spectacle. We're at Laguna Seca. Folks, we didn't get very far before we found our first McLaren F1 GTR of our trip. Look at the seat positioning. Most of you guys know, but how ridiculous is it that it's a center seat position and I think 2 people could sit on either side of it? Never mind. Okay, to my left, you can't sit, but to my right, there's a full 5-point harness. So it's a 2-seater, but the driver sits in the middle. Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at the inn at Spanish Bay. And there are some heavy hitters here, and we need to take a look at them. Onward and upward. I don't think in the history of ever I've seen a green Bugatti Chiron, but here we are, and there's a first for everything. If you thought that was the only Bugatti Chiron here, you would be mildly incorrect, because to my right, there is a blue Bugatti Chiron. No, that's a regular Chiron, that's a Pure Sport. Yes, regular Chiron, Pure Sport, orange Koenigsegg Agera. Oh, okay, there's another Bugatti, and there's a Zonda. Okay, let's move onward. That's not all, folks. We still have more to uncover here. The Strado's not making the cut. Wow. Moving towards the back here, we have a fully exposed silver carbon fiber Pagani Zonda, Arrivederci. I think it's called an Arrivederci. It's one of one. I just called it a Zonda, but we need to get a little bit more detailed here on the channel. And it's silver and blue carbon fiber. It's not just silver. And this very interesting paint scheme on this fully exposed carbon fiber Bugatti Chiron. It is a super sport. It is a super sport. My favorite, personally. Yes, also in the $1 million category, the Ferrari 812. Competizione. I thought this was a regular Bugatti Chiron. I was very, very incorrect. I didn't look towards the back of it to see the extended tail. It's a super sport. I was under the impression that there were a limited amount of 812 Competiziones. I think we've gotten like 5 or 6 in this YouTube video so far. And there's a bright blue one right there. Heather, do you know the name of the color? Mexico blue. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday, and we have arrived at Pebble Beach. Look at the Pebble Beach exquisite water bottle. I'm keeping that in my water bottle collection. But to the left of me, more importantly, the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR. Wow, I don't know if I've ever seen one of these in my entire life, but here we are, stood next to one. We need to bring this Mercedes back, folks. That's the second Daytona SP3 that I've completely glossed over and almost missed. Folks, you've seen Ferrari F40s, you've seen F50s, but you've probably never seen the F60, which is to pay homage to the 60th anniversary of Ferrari. It's a strictly US car. There's only 10 of them in the entire world, and there's 3 of them right here. We just passed another SP3, and we're here at Casa Ferrari, and there's another blue one on that podium. I think we've seen pretty much all the SP3s at Monterey Car Week. Folks, the Rimac Nevera is already a ridiculous electric car that makes over 1,000 horsepower, but it looks like the company decided to make a Nevera R, which is probably gonna be an absolute rocket ship. It looks great in this paint color, and I'm excited to see some numbers on it. Folks, it doesn't even look like it's part of the show. It just looks like a casual customer parked Bugatti Chiron, and it's in this silver bluish paint, but towards the back of the car, fully exposed blue carbon fiber. We made it onto the actual concourse. The view is absolutely spectacular. It looks like there's conservatively 30,000 people right in front of me. So it's gonna be a little bit tough to film, but we'll see what we can do. We might have to give up here, folks, but the cars that are in there are the most elegant, opulent cars, and I'm not the most elegant, opulent man, so I think it's for the best for Pebble Beach and for Chris and Cars Incorporated. We've made it to the Lamborghini house here in Monterey. It's right off of the Pebble Beach links, so it's very convenient, and I'm standing in front of the Lamborghini SC63 race car, which is an absolute spectacle on the eyes, folks. We did a full video on this, so you're definitely gonna wanna check it out on short form. Ladies and gentlemen, a first and very exciting car for Chris and Cars. The Bugatti Bolide. It's sensational. It's definitely a race car. I don't think it has any business on the street, but it's fantastic, and I've been dying to see it for a long time. Right behind it, kind of in the shadow of the Bugatti Bolide, we have an autographed Chiron Supersport. Color shifting paint too. Folks, not only were those some of the best $1 million+ super and hypercars in Monterey, but they might have been some of the best super and hypercars in the entire world. Monterey Car Week, like I said, it's the Super Bowl, it's the PGA Championship, it's the NBA Finals for car people. But that wraps up our 2024 trip, and we'll see you next year. Fully exposed green carbon fiber Aston Martin Velour. They love me, folks! They absolutely love me! That guy's really excited!